are rolling in, I just want to assure you that you are at the right place if you are looking for the session on transitioning from high school to university. And I am Sam Wong, who has been emailing to many of you. And I am joined by today two of my, I can't say favorite because everybody is my favorite, but they are definitely one of those I really like to see on campus. So we have Sharon and Leo. So as students are still, I think we have a pretty good crowd who came on time. So maybe you can quickly introduce yourself, tell us your name, where you're from, what's your major before we start the session. So maybe Leo, you first.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leo. I'm from Myanmar. So I'm studying communication, public relation in School of Communication, Baptist University. Very nice to meet you, everyone.
And you are a year
one. I'm about to finish my year one. So I'm on the way to year two.
I love that spirit. Okay, Sharon.
Hi everyone, my name is Sharon. I'm from Indonesia. I'm currently a year 2 student and I'm studying visual arts.
Wonderful, wonderful, amazing. So students, it is a webinar, so you won't be able to turn on your camera. But if you want to ask question with your mind, you can raise your hand, or if you have any question, you can type in the Q&A. So what we are going to do today is to be just like this. It will be a chit chat session, actually Q&A, like a late night show. I'll be the host. I'll be your host tonight, and I'll be asking them some really tough questions, and they will elaborate that. They will actually share their experience, and you can ask some follow-up questions in the Q&A, and we will see if it's suitable. We will put it in, or we will save it for the Q&A session, which is at the end of the entire session. Okay, all right, let's get started. Should we? Okay, how are we feeling? Ding, 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 ding. Okay, good. So first question. Actually, this is the one thing that's the question for everyone in the audience first. I want the audience to answer this first before Leo and Sharon answer this. What do you think is the biggest worries, or what is your biggest worries on studying abroad? Like, what is the one thing that you are so concerned that you think, oh, I'm so worried about this. If I have to study abroad, or you are going to Hong Kong, what is that one thing that is on your mind that really ache you, like there's a real pain to you? Can anyone type in the chat box? You can choose to just send it to us, the panelists, so that no one can see it, or you can just share it with everyone else. Do we have anyone? Can you find the chat? You can type your answer in the chat box. Okay, very shy crowd today. Anyone? Okay, maybe I did not. Okay, someone raised their hand. If you don't mind, we can do the chat first. We can use the chat first. Can you type in the chat box? Making friends. So someone said something. Oh, maybe the chat is not working. So yes, let me turn on the chat. Thank you so much. There you go. The chat, I have just turned on the chat. Let's see. Please try again. So someone said making friends is the biggest worry, which is like a top 3 worries. Trust me, like it always is a worry. Anyone else? New country, new environment. True. Cannot speak Cantonese. Adopting to new environment. True. Adjusting with the language change. Yes. New environment. Yes. Getting accustomed to Hong Kong culture and infrastructure. That's interesting. Not being able to socialize. That's always a big topic. Studying some subjects in English or get used to new culture. Yes. Understanding the new education pattern. Very, very insightful. So language barrier is a thing. La la la. Okay. Thank you so much for the trust and sharing. Oh, responsibility like cooking my own food. That's a very good one. Self-arrangement. Very, very nice. Supporting yourself. So love all this answer. Very legit, very valid, very common as well. Now, may I ask Sharon and Leo to tell us what were your biggest worries before you came to Hong Kong? And were they real? Maybe Sharon, you first?
I think a lot of the people said my biggest worries. Like one of them, for example, is probably not being able to make friends, because initially I was very introverted and I was very shy as well. But then I think what happened was that I think I just needed to open up and be willing to try new things in university, because I think like not be worrying about not being able to socialize or being an introvert is like coming from what people of being afraid of what people would think about yourself. But then in reality in university, nobody else kind of like thinks that way, and like
Hey,
everyone
hey,
else
hey,
is
hey,
in
hey. Wait. Save your secret to
okay.
later. Save your secret to later. I just want to know what you were with your worries. So
Okay.
she said she was shy. She was extremely shy. She was so shy that I was afraid that someone would like eat her up. I just told her, like, I remember the day when I saw her. She is very tall, but she was like so shy. She was looking down on me and like very timid and all that. But look at her right now. But okay, we will talk about that later. So you were worried about making friends. What else were you
Making
were you worried?
friends, and then finances, I was worried as well. And then also not being able to cook or do the laundry and every other thing, like making bank accounts or HKID as well. Everything. Yeah.
Okay, because Sharon, I have the privilege to meet with Sharon's brother. Obviously, she's from a loving family. Like it would be tough to leave that family, and after being taken good care of for so many years. Okay, so that's very legit worries. Sharon, just last thing before we ask Leo, will you say all those worries were real?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's it. So that's Sharon's story. She has all these worries, and they are all real. How about Leo?
Okay, I'll just like echo some of the worry you have raised, like all of the audiences. And I'm gonna make like the top 3 worries for me. I think like financial management, will I be able to like manage finance really well? And the second thing would be like making like bank accounts, making Hong Kong ID and like those kind of stuff. And the third one would be like adapting to new academic environment. Will I be able to adapt to the style of learning, and will I perform well, that kind of stuff. So those are the top 3 worries for me.
And were they real?
Very real, very
They
true.
were very real. Okay.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say here is they all share your worries, and their worries were not unreal. I don't want to be, stand in front of you and say, hey, you don't have to worry about it. They are all unreal. No, they are real worries. But look at them. Look at how they talk. They survive. So from now on, we will talk about how they survive all this stuff. To start with, let's talk about life. So I see that, Susan, we're talking about, worry about how to take care of themselves. You worry about that as well. So maybe both of you can tell me a little bit on how, you overcome, you deal with those challenges. What are those challenges? How did you deal with those challenges? And, how does it, how do you come by at the end of the day, like you finally manage? So maybe Leo, you first.
Okay, talking about like, yes, like you are about to move to a new country, new environment, when you don't know everything. Everything is so new to you, right? So you are worried. And Hong Kong, of course, is a very multicultural and very fast-paced city. So you might probably get stressed and your financial pressure, your academic pressure. And like you have to do everything by yourself, cooking, doing laundry, what else, like studying, like you're gonna be so occupied and so busy. But like, I mean like, but like you have to know what you're doing. In the morning, you wake up and then you have to have a good routine so that you will be able to, overcome it. For me, I instead of like worrying a lot, just do it. And like by doing it, you will learn how to do it well. And like you will have a good routine. Like you will be accustomed to like what to do first, then what to do next, then you'll be fine.
Okay, listen to this very confident young man. I admire him a lot. But I don't think everyone is like that. So how about you, Sharon? How was your experience?
I think for me, like for example, for not being able to make friends or like worrying about socializing. I think I just needed to open up and be willing to try different experiences, like joining hall events, international association events. And I think like I didn't really care too much about what other people would think, because I think a lot of people are like in the same position with me as well. So reaching out towards new friends, not being afraid to like talk to people is also a good thing. So I think like my advice is just try to be open to new possibilities and not be afraid to experiment. And yeah, I think that's all.
So are you saying that your friends actually take care of you and cook for you and do the laundry for you?
Sometimes. I'm just kidding. Like, of course, like I did it alone as well. But then, like having people around you is very nice, and like you get to have like a lot of help and a lot of accountability as well.
Okay, you come to the point that you talk about how you make friends and then your friends support you. That's why you're not worried anymore. Then it touched on the biggest question, like how to make friends. Leo, how did you make friends? Like, what is your advice?
So the thing is, like, making friends is not really a problem actually, if like you're open-minded to new opportunities. So you are in a new environment, like you're gonna be meeting a lot of new people. So like just don't like stay in your room and like work on your desk. So like probably you go to the launch, the common area where you can talk to other students and just go to like some events and some clubs. And like as you live, you're gonna be in class and you're gonna meet a lot of like new friends, and you're gonna pair up in group projects. So you're gonna meet a lot of friends, and like do what you like to do. If you like to, read, join a reading club. And then like by your interest, if you have the same interest with other people, you would just easily click and make friends. So like just try to be a bit like fun, just try to be lively, so you will meet new people, and like if you click well, you're gonna be friends. That's it.
You guys make it sound so easy, but that's also my observation. So I was really surprised so actually Sharon is in year 2 and Leo is in year 1, and they are from different countries, but somehow they are good friends. And I found out when I go to the cultural nights, and then everybody was like being very friendly to each other despite where they're coming from or which year. And then when I ask them how did they meet each other, then they would start teasing each other like, how did I meet you? I don't remember. I don't know meeting you. Like, and then this is a sign of good friends. So friends are important. You can make friends in class because you are asked to do project together. But if you are willing to step out of your room, you can go to the lounge in the dormitory. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or you can meet friends by interest if you have a certain interest. So Leo, I know you have a specific interest, which is singing.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing a bit on like did that help you with social life, or what was it like?
Yeah, definitely. It helped me with socializing, because like I when I came here, I wanted to sing with a group of people. So I joined and applied for the HKBU choir. And like we usually have like weekly choir practice sessions, and like we meet like every week. And so like we meet each other and we make friends. So we have a lot of things to talk about. Like, oh, do you like listening to Adele? Do you like listening to Ed Sheeran? And like you talk and you click well and you make friends easily. That's fun. That's because of your interest, you find people who will get along with, I think.
And you are not going to show us any photo of your
Oh,
performance?
of course.
Because he has just performed in the City Hall of Hong Kong. Was it like 2 weeks ago? Or
yeah, it was
what?
like 2 weeks ago. So this is like choir. The City Hall choir was stunning because like it was the combined choir. We got like 3 choirs in our university. I sing in the choir, but the choir was so huge because it was the combined choir. And it was a very rare experience, because like imagine a foreigner from a different country singing in like Hong Kong City Hall. I was so delighted, and I really like that experience. This is our choir group. It is called HKBU Choir Union. This is the combined one. I actually had like performed in 2 concerts. One was in our academic hall, one was in like the City Hall. It was great.
And for those of you who are in the audience, not only that he sang in the choir, he also was invited to sing at individual events. So every now and then we will walk on the campus, walk past the promenade, and then you will listen to, oh, that's Leo. Someone is singing because he's just so good. But I think it's a very good suggestion. So go with your interest. I actually remember there was a student who is very shy, more shy than Sharon. And then it was a girl, and it was quite challenging for her to make friends. But one day she saw a Lego workshop that we have on campus, and she was like, no way, I have to go and play Lego. And then she just met people who like Lego. So there are lots of happenings on campus where students can join and also make friends. So I hope that gives you, the audience, some ideas on how to make friends when you are in the university. And as we are talking about life, there are also the questions about, or the worries about food, or cooking your own food. So Sharon, do you cook? How do you get by?
Sometimes I cook if I have time. Sometimes Leo helps me cook as well. And then if I don't have time, then I just buy like takeouts or like in the canteen around campus. I think there's like a lot of like food choices in campus, and like quite affordable as well for students. And if you go to Starbucks here, there's also a student discount, so it's quite nice. Yeah, so sometimes I cook just simple things just to get by, but then in special occasions I like to cook with my friends, or my friends cook for me. But
So
I don't think it's
Leo,
a big worry.
so Leo is the chef, huh? Leo.
Yeah,
And
Leo is a very good chef.
Leo is a chef, but Leo is also a foodie. So, okay, we understand that there are students who will cook, but then I'm sure there are some students in the audience thinking, but I don't cook. What should I do? What if I don't meet a Leo who will cook for me? So, Leo, I know that you eat a lot. You go
Yeah.
out a lot for food. Can you share your experience?
Sure. I'm gonna share my screen first because I am so excited to let you see what I have tried in Hong Kong. Okay. So like if you're worried about food, Hong Kong is not the place for you to worry about food, because like Hong Kong is very diverse. Like there are a lot of people are like all over the world in Hong Kong, so don't worry about food. And the portion in Hong Kong, they're like quite big. So if you are a big eater like me, that's so good. So like you can have like some picture. And like Hong Kong, I think that you all know dim sum. Hong Kong dim sum originated from Hong Kong. So Hong Kong dim sum is like the best dim sum all around the world, all over the world. Okay. So, okay. So like talking about food, you can easily cook yourself if you can cook, but like if you cannot cook, you can, as Sharon mentioned, you can just go to the hall canteen. There are like a variety of choices. This is from hall canteen. The one with like lemon tea is from hall canteen, and this one is the breakfast from hall canteen. The price is pretty fair, and the food is quite good. And another thing, if you are very busy, you don't want to eat out, so you can probably like get frozen food too. Hong Kong is very convenient, so there are a lot of 7-Eleven all around campus, so you can just buy some, frozen food and some onigiri and that kind of stuff. So don't worry about food. You can probably like let me know when you get to Hong Kong, and we can probably eat out together. So no worries.
Okay, here's a real foodie. Onigiri, even. Onigiri is like a rice ball with simple stuffing. And then we have vending machine on the campus where students can get it.
True.
But for those who are concerned, so cooking is very common. I think not only because it's cheaper, but it's also a great way to like hang out with your friends. And if you don't cook, don't worry about it. There are many people who cook. And I know there are some students, especially like the Burmese students, what they do is, so maybe if you don't cook, you go buy the ingredients. So you give your effort as, carrying the ingredient, and then someone will cook or you do the dishes. So you can be part of the cooking team that way as well, right, Sharon?
True.
Like,
yes. I usually wash the dishes.
So don't worry about it. So you could get by. And for those of you who have like dietary requirements, like if you are vegetarian, if you need halal food, I'm sure you will find something as well, because Hong Kong is simply a place for foodie. So it shouldn't be a big problem. So I think we are pretty good with the life part, except for money. So many
Yeah.
of them also mentioned about like financial concern, whether I'll have enough money to get by. So Sharon, as a year 2 student, you know, you have more experience. What would you say about that? Like,
I
what
think
is your experience?
Yeah, money was one of my biggest worry as well back then. But then I think the university and Hong Kong government itself has been very supportive of that. Like, for example, if you get a scholarship from BU as well, it'll help a lot. Like the initial money award, it'll help you for a few months at least if you can manage your finances well. But then aside from that, there's also like, for example, the consumption voucher programs from the Hong Kong government, and they will be able to help you and finance you, give you money to your Octopus card or to your bank account, and that's also very helpful. But aside from that, if you don't have the scholarship money, and if you didn't get the chance to apply for the consumption voucher from the Hong Kong government, then you can always apply for student helper jobs on campus, because there's like lots of like opportunities, job opportunities on campus that you can apply to. And I think based on my experience, the pay is quite good as well. They pay per hour, so you can be flexible with the job as well, because like obviously we all have classes to attend to. So most of the time the job will be able to like attend to your needs as a student, if that makes sense. Like it'll be able to be like flexible.
Okay, so many questions. You've given us so much information. So first, you mentioned the scholarship. So
Yes.
you talked about you get this admission scholarship, right? Actually,
Yeah.
both of you got the admission scholarship. So admission scholarship is something that you receive at the time when you receive the offer,
Yes.
right? Okay, so you got that. But so for the students who are in the audience, it's possible that you get a scholarship at the time when you receive an offer. But then Sharon, you also get something else. You also get another scholarship. What was that?
Yeah, if you perform well in class, then you can get chosen for like a special award. Like the scholarship is called like non-local, non-mainland special award. So if you perform well in your faculty, and if your professors see that you have potential, they'll nominate you for a possible like additional scholarship money, which I received last year. So if you study well, if you do well in your schoolwork, then it's going to be fine.
Girl, you have to tell people about this. You can't keep it from people. So it's also possible for current students to receive a scholarship. It will not be as much as the admission scholarship, but
Yeah.
it would be a real help, I believe. And then it will also, you know, be like a recognition of your hard work. So that's the scholarship part. You mentioned the consumption voucher. So that's something I want to explain. So the consumption voucher mentioned by Sharon is something the Hong Kong government gives to those who have a Hong Kong ID card. And if you are an international student coming for a degree program, you'll be required to apply for a Hong Kong ID card, and then automatically you will receive a certain amount of, I think it's a little bit different from the permanent residence, but you still get quite a good amount. So how much did you get last year?
I got like a total of $5,000 last year.
5,000 Hong Kong dollars. That's a lot. That's a lot. I'll
yeah.
give the calculation. How about this year?
This year they decreased it because it's like not COVID season anymore. So I only got 1,500, but that's still very good as well for a student.
So for the audience, 5,000 is around 650 US dollars. So that's quite a number. And then 1,500 is around 190 US. So it's quite a good like additional money to your daily lives. And then Sharon, you mentioned the student helper job. So what do you do as a student helper?
So I work in like the Faculty of Social Sciences. So even though I'm like a visual arts student, but I can still like apply to different student helper jobs outside of my own faculty. So basically what I do is just I come to the office and I design promotional materials for them. And if they have like administrative issues, like cataloging books or helping them deliver things, I would also like help them out in the office as well. So I think it depends, because my friend also, I have a friend who works in like a gallery for the visual arts department, and she also gets paid well. So there's a lot of like different jobs, and I think it can be enjoyable as well.
I think it's a great example because, you know, students always think that if you are a student helper, then you do boring job, you know, sit an accountant and all that. But in fact, you can use your major or your skills to do those jobs. So it's a great example. Thank you very much, Sharon. How about you, Leo? Anything you want to add? Even though she is pretty complete with that answer. Is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, everything is covered. So for me personally, I'm a full scholarship recipient. So with my scholarship award, I think like I can afford to have like nutritious meal every day, and it will cover for you to buy some clothes, and it will cover for you to have like occasional hangouts with friends and occasionally eat out. That's fine. And additionally, as Sharon mentioned about the student helper jobs, the school is very supportive. If they have like some events that they need like some student to help them, they might probably reach out to you by email, and like you apply for it and you can just go and work easily so that like you can earn some additional money. That's it pretty much.
I think that's pretty nice. Yuki, I see that your hand, you have raised your hand. Do you mind typing your question in chat? Because actually we are recording, so I'm not sure if you would like to like turn on the mic as well. How can I get a Hong Kong ID card if I am an international student? Do I have to stay for 7 years? Good question. Actually, all students, if you are staying for degree, you have to apply for a student ID, for a Hong Kong ID card. But that is not a permanent residence Hong Kong ID card. It's just like a permit that is required for any international student who stay in Hong Kong for more than 6 months, and they need to apply for that. So it's different from permanent residency. It's just like a temporary citizenship. But that's what's so great about the the voucher program, because they somehow also cover the international students. Okay, there's a question. What kind of extracurricular activity the students should participate that can enhance the chance of getting into the... Okay, that's a good question, but we are not going to talk about it now because this is about transitioning from high school to university. Maybe I can talk about it at the end of the presentation. All right. Okay, so we talk about making friends, taking care of yourself, and then finance. Okay, we should talk about studying. Almost forget that you are coming for education. Okay, so I think my big question here is, how is it different studying in high school and studying in university? I will ask Leo first because you study communication, because I think Sharon will have a very different experience as a visual artist. So maybe Leo, you can go first.
So like back in high school, you are treated like a little pupil, right? You're told what to do, and then you'll be reminded like on each of the step. But in Hong Kong, you will be treated like an adult in university. So back in high school, you might probably, the learning would be like solely on textbook, and you will just follow the textbook. But in university, you will be asked to do a lot of group projects, a lot of like research, a lot of papers. So instead of like just following the textbook, you might probably explore online sources. Sometimes you will probably go to the library and like read the books your professor recommend. And so you have to know what is going on by, you will be given the syllabus before the semester begin. So you have to follow it, and you will be treated like an adult. Nobody will remind you what to do. So you will have to be very independent. And the next thing, in Hong Kong, some of the classes I have attended, they are very lecture oriented. So what I recommend you to do is that you have to be very attentive. So have a good sleep before you go to class. Otherwise, you're gonna get, distracted from the lecture. But in some classes, as I'm a communication student, we got a lot of group projects too. So you have to be wise with like, what shall I say, assignment distributions. So, or sometimes like you might probably fight with your friend, oh, I work more, you work more. So you have to learn how to communicate well too. So those are some learning experiences I have had so far for this year.
So lecture mode, a lot of them are lectures. Well, first I want to add that Leo is in his year 1 study. So it's more likely that he take more introductory course, which might be of lecture kind.
Yeah.
I don't think that will be the same case when you move on to year 2 or 3, and that would be more interactive. And I'm sure Sharon will have a different experience. Sharon, what is your experience?
Yeah, as you mentioned before, like back in my first year, even though I'm a visual art student, I would say that in my first year, I attended like mostly lecture-based classes, and it was like, it can get a bit like repetitive, but then like you need to take it in order to advance to the other courses in second year. So based on my experience as a visual art student right now in my second year, I'm taking a lot of like the concentration classes that I want. So most of my classes are studio based. So it's a smaller scale class with less students, and because there's less students, you get to have more interaction with the professors. That's what I think is beneficial. But then, as Leo mentioned as well, like they won't be chasing you around with the deadlines. They won't be like asking about your progress all the time. But if you make the effort and the initiative to reach out to the professors, they will be very, 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 very helpful to you. Even outside of class, you can like arrange a time to meet with them and things like that. So I think in universities, same as Leo mentioned as well, there's a lot of like self-learning, and you can't really depend on the professors to chase you around and treat you like a child, because you have to have like a sense of responsibility. And I think that's one of the good things of being in university, is because you just have like much more flexibility and freedom in your ways of studying. And then you can just, over time, you'll be able to learn what type of working style or working ethics that suits you the most. So yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned about asking questions to the professor. How easy is that? Like, aren't they like they are professors? Like both of you. I mean, have you have any experience talking to professors? Do you have to email them like, dear Professor Martin, my name is Lala. Greetings from what was it like here in HKBU?
Actually, I just reached out to my professor last night, and I was expecting that he would reply me in the morning, but like he replied me immediately. So I don't think it's a bad thing. As long as like you are able to reach out to them, like you will be given all the information. Sometimes you can just like simply request them to meet in their office. Sometimes like you're studying, you got some questions and you need some clarification, you just write them an email. They will be very happy to help you. So it's easy, and like you have to relax. I think my professor loves to be like reach out to, because like they want to like communicate with students, and like if you reach out to them, they will notice you, that you are really attentive and you really care about like what they are talking, what their lecture is about. So you will probably be noticed and will be loved by the professor if they reach out to them. Okay.
That's a tip. Sharon, agree, right?
I agree. I definitely agree.
Okay. Oh, for those of you who have all these questions about applying to HKBU, I will save it for the last, because this session is mainly for transitioning. I hope you understand. But there is a question about textbooks. So where do students get their textbook? How does it work? Oh, and there's also a question about how different exams and tests are in high school and in university. Like, how is it in university? So maybe you can talk about both where do you get the textbooks and the exam and text.
Okay, textbook. So most of the textbooks are available in the PDF form. So like you can just simply like search on online, and like if you have a student ID, and like you will be able to access to different online e-libraries. So it's not a problem. But like if you prefer to read the physical textbook, you can just simply go to HKBU library, and there is a service counter. They are very happy to help you. They're very accommodating. You just tell them, I need that book for reading, like, so they're gonna just give you the book, and they just write down the date that you have to return, and like you just return it on the due date. If you don't return it on the due date, you have to pay the fine. So everything is very convenient, so don't worry about it. So that's it. And what else? Textbook and what?
How exam and tests are different.
Okay, in high school, like according to my personal experience, exams are very serious. Like they assess you based on the exam only. So you take the exam very serious. Exam is the measurement if you perform well or not. But in university, in addition to the exam, there are group projects. Then most of the exam are in the form of like multiple choice, true or false, and sometimes like open questions, which is more like for my major, which is more like analyzing the scenario, and just like they're just trying to test whether you understand the lecture or whether you are on the right track. They are not like you memorize something and like write it down somewhere, not like that. So exam here, the way we are assessed is pretty fair, I think.
Sounds very good. I think we need to, looking at the time, I think we need to move to the next question, which is mainly for Sharon because she is already a second-year student. I see a hand raised. Could you please type your question in the chat first, and then we will try to figure out when we can answer that. So Sharon, did you do anything outside the classroom that what we will call like experiential learning? So in our education, we have the classroom learning where you go to the class and listen to the lecture or interact with the lecturer, but there are also different kind of experiential learning opportunity. So did you do anything, and could you please share?
Yes, so I will share my screen for pictures. Can you see my screen? Okay, so basically, my major, I think it's also like applying for like the other faculties as well. You need to complete an internship experience as a graduation requirement. So I did my internship a few months ago in PwC Hong Kong. It's an accounting firm, but since I'm a visual arts student, I don't work like in their accounting or business department. I work in their design division technically. So I help them design promotional materials like marketing materials and things like that. And so yeah, it was a good experience. It was 6 months, and the pictures you see here is like the office located in Kwun Tong, which is a business district as well in Hong Kong. So I think the good thing is like if you come to BU, like they will encourage you a lot and they will support you to find these opportunities to just learn outside of the classroom as well. Because obviously in my internship experiences, I think I learned a lot of like things that I couldn't get in the classroom, because classrooms are mostly, you would say, theoretical, but in internships and work placements, you'll get hands-on experience and you'll be able to talk to other professionals who are in the same field with you. And I think that's very helpful for me, because when I make mistakes, they will be able to give me constructive criticism, and I'll be able to directly improve and evaluate where I went wrong and things like that. So I think it was really helpful for me as well to get this experience. And in addition, you also get money from this internship experience. So not only you learn, but you get money also in return. Yes, that's it.
So-
Oh, and I think, sorry?
Yeah, I just want to, because this is I think your case is very interesting. So first, many students would think that if I study visual arts, I will never get a job, or I'll have to become a poor artist, or what do I do? So I think Sharon pointed out something very important. She works for an accounting firm.
Yeah.
Any kind of industry, any kind of firm, they might need designers. They might need an artist, especially nowadays, 2023, like so many companies will, decorate their lobby or spend so much money on art, or, their publication and all that things. So do not let that limit yourself. And also, Sharon mentioned that it's a requirement to do internship. It's actually not a requirement for all the programs, but most of our students do take that opportunity because it's available across disciplines. So you don't have to be certain major to do internship. So that's for sure. She mentioned about the pay, and it varies. It could be a lot. It could be just like a linear, like decorative almost amount. So I don't want to bring up your high hope, but usually it's paid. And some students would think like internship is free labor. Usually it's not the case. So I think internship in Hong Kong mostly is a paid job. So other than internship, did you do anything else, Sharon? Can you share that as well?
Other than internships, I also did like a competition, a startup competition. I don't have pictures of it right now because we didn't take any pictures because it was online back then. But I did a startup competition with some of my friends, and I'm also currently in a business competition as well. So like, again, even though I'm a visual arts student, I still get a lot of opportunities from like different disciplines. And the startup was like, basically, if I join a business competition, then maybe I'm in the marketing or in the design division. Doesn't have to be like strictly based on your own, stick to your own faculty. So I think it's good to diversify, and there's lots of opportunities in campus as well. So I did competitions and I also did internships.
So this little Missy did not tell me anything about the competition until I read about her championship on one of the newspaper. So may I know how much did you win? Was it a cash prize, and how much was it?
It was a cash prize, so it was a group project. I think we won around 9,000 in total, $9,000. So each person, since there's 3 people in our group, we got like around 3,000 or 2,000, I forgot. but it was quite a lot of cash as well.
So
I
for
would say.
those of you, this is around $380. Yeah, they won. It's not easy, but they won. So I think Sharon mentioned it very well. Like you don't have to be a business student to take part in a business competition. And in your team, I believe you have both Hong Kong students and international students as well.
Yeah.
So it happens. I just want to show you that this is possible, and then it actually is possible across discipline. So I got 2 questions here about internship. One, when can students apply for internship? And 2, how do you get those internships? So Leo, I wonder if you have already applying internship. Just curious, have you started looking for internship?
Actually, I have a plan to do the internship next year, second year, and our faculty have a internship consultation service. So basically, I just have to like email the faculty and like ask for some direction. That's it. It will be very convenient, and we got a lot of like partners that have MOU with our faculty, so that would be convenient, I think.
So that's a very common way for students to take internship. You go to a briefing and then you learn how to apply for internship. So basically, we have a central office that is the career center that will list out the openings, and then individual programs or department or faculty, they have their own listing. Sometimes they email the student as well. Most students apply for internship during April or March, like towards the end of the second semester. And Leo is in his year 1, so many of the year 1 students will skip the first year and do internship in the next year, but some very ambitious one will also start doing internship in their first year so that they can get a better internship in their second year, which I do not agree. I think you should just go and have fun and do something fun in your first year. It's too much pressure. There's a question about whether internship is based on academic performance. I don't think so, but I do think that some internship will interview students. Sharon, what was your experience?
I don't think it was solely based on academic performance, because for me, like for example, my field is like design and arts, so they look through my portfolio a lot, like the previous works that I've done with other companies and other organizations, and they don't strictly see your grades, because in one interview that I had, they were also asking me about like the personality type. They told me to take like a lot of like personality assessments and also like game-based assignments. So they give you a test and they see how you perform through those quizzes and through those tests. So even if you have like a relatively average GPA, which I think I'm very average actually, so you'll be fine as long as you're willing to learn and you're willing to open up to new experiences and you do well on your interview and you have an open mindset to just accept criticism, that I think there's no worry to find internships to begin with. Yeah.
Okay, again, the humble here, too humble. So I don't think you're an average. Otherwise, you will get the additional scholarship. But what you're saying is that I love what you said. It's really not just about the GPA. And I think it's also same for job hunting in Hong Kong as well. We really look for the potential and the talent. One more question about duration of internship. It could be actually from 3 months to 6 months. It depends on the program. We are running out of time, so I will need to move on to the last part of the session. But if you have any question, please keep typing in the chat, and we will see if we can answer those questions later on. Okay. Now, to wrap up, this is coming to the end. I want you to tell me or tell us what were the biggest surprise after you came to Hong Kong. Now, you have all these ideas, at the beginning, you have all these worries, and you said that they are all real. And somehow you solve those problems or overcome those, challenges. But what were the biggest surprise that you thought it was one way, but it was at the end the other way? Either of you could go first.
Okay, so like studying abroad was one of my, biggest dreams. So like if I study abroad, I wanted to perform academically really well. Probably most of you are like very academically very strong, I believe so. And like I worried about like, oh, will I be able to have a balance? Like, will I be able to have friends and hang out? Will I be able to do what I really love to do? But it turned out that like I kind of have like a balanced life, even if like I am performing considerably okay with my academic performance. I can have friends. I can do what I still can do what I love to do, like singing, and I still can cook for my friends and eat together. So I think it's quite surprising to me. I was so stressed before I came here. I'm gonna be always like studying in my room, fighting with deadlines. Actually, it's not like that, but like I didn't sleep last night though. But like to finish my assignment. So as long as like you keep taking a good track on like your academic performance and also have a good social life, you'll be fine. So that's one of my biggest surprise, that I am handling really well while having fun and while performing okay with my academic stuff.
Love that answer. I think many of the students would also have the same worries, like thinking,
Yeah.
I will only have to work very hard to get that GPA, otherwise I'll be dead. No, you don't have to be like that. And I love that it came as a surprise. So what about you, Sharon?
For me, I think one of my biggest surprises was, I think, like just feeling very different and very lonely in university when I first entered, because I expected like, oh, I'll be able to like meet new friends and like I'll be able to feel in place like directly when I got there. But then like I think it was harder than I was expected adjusting there. But then on the other hand, the good surprise was that when I started talking to a lot of other people, a lot of my friends and my seniors as well, it turns out that we're not really that different from each other because our experiences are very similar. And I think from there you can really like bond with each other and get to know each other very well. And one good surprise also is that I met a lot of people from different countries and different cultural backgrounds, and I really, really genuinely enjoyed like listening to their stories and also like trying out their food, things like that. And I think I got like, because of my socializing with a lot of like these people from different backgrounds, I think I learned a lot about myself as well, and just about the world in general. So that one was like an unexpected surprise, I would say, because I got to just learn so much from other people.
I was really choked up yesterday when she said this, like how surprising, that we are not alone. It seems so easy and like simple, but then you never really know until you meet someone who actually said that is my problem as well. So I think that's great. So the one last question before we go into all this Q&A, that everybody has a lot of great questions, but I have one last question for the panel, which I'm really curious because I asked them to keep that to themselves. If you can go back time and talk to yourself, that little young Sharon, young Leo, a year ago, 2 years ago, what advice would you give yourself?
Should I go? So I think like for a person who is going to be studying abroad, always try everything by yourself. And this is how you learn from experience. So you, without anyone's help, you do it and like you learn it, and you learn the way how to cope with it because you are the one. Because like when you get here, you're going to be doing everything by yourself. Nobody's will be like, your mom or your auntie or your brother will not be with you. You will do by yourself. So from the very beginning, try to be very independent, learn from your mistake, do it yourself, and you're going to remember how to do it for the rest of your life. So that's my advice to the little Leo, I think.
I think mine would also be similar to Leo, because I think it's just university is a very independent lifestyle, and I've learned that I should learn how to depend on myself more, and just trying to be open to new experiences and trying to not be afraid to try new things. But then on the other hand, I think don't be too hard on yourself, I guess, because back in freshman year, I was really hard on myself and I felt like I couldn't do things by my own. So if you really feel confused, or if you feel really like, I don't know, like puzzled and like stuck, then always try like reaching out to people. Because what I've learned is that when I reach out to people, to my seniors or to my friends, and ask them for advice or help, they're always so happy to help me. And like, yeah, initially I was just afraid to ask help from people, but then if you initiate, then a lot of people will be happy to help. Yeah, so don't be afraid and don't be too hard on yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
I wish we met earlier so that you can tell me not to worry when I was young. So I was the one who will stay up all night worrying about things. We have a lot of questions, but many of them are more about admissions than transitions. So I just want to pick out two here that is about actually a few at the end. So someone asked about health insurance. We actually do not require you to buy any health insurance, because once you arrive Hong Kong, if you enroll successfully, then you will get a Hong Kong ID card, and then you can use the Hong Kong hospital systems as like a Hong Kong citizen, which is really like cheap, really cheap. I don't hope any of you have tried that, but if you know you have the need, that will be it. But did you have experience with getting sick? I hope not, but it's just something that, and what did you do about it? Leo and Sharon, like, did you get sick before? What did you do? How does it work?
For me, I never got that sick in Hong Kong, but like I hear like a lot of my friends who got injured or who got sick, they just like call the BU clinic. Like in the university, we have our own clinic, and they have like a very affordable and cheap price as well. So they just go there, they schedule an appointment, and then it's done. But for me, I don't really have experiences like being sick. Yeah.
Good.
I've never been sick too, but like one of my closest friend, she got sick like 2 weeks ago, and like she just booked an online booking to the BU clinic, and she went there and she got some prescription and yeah, cure.
Good to know. So the thing is, you're not required, but you are welcome to buy your own insurance at your own choice. In Hong Kong is, you know, we don't operate like, do you have insurance? If you don't, then we'll throw you away. It doesn't work like that. And also the public hospital is of very high standard and also very cheap. So that's why it's not like a compulsory requirement. So the other question is about like setting up bank account. That one, I will tell you, we will send more information later on, and do not worry about it at this stage. But I mean, this is really normal. We were just kidding before the start of the session. Like Leo was so anxious about all this, you know, bank account and all that. But at this stage, really just get over with the visa. Just get the visa application done first. That's the most important thing. And maybe prepare for your exam, but don't worry about the bank account. That's nothing you should worry about right now. And then entrepreneurship. Do you have to, how do you find startup that operate outside of the campus? So for entrepreneurship, Sharon share her experience. There are lots of competitions. There are lots of workshops that you can attend and learn how to write a business proposal, pitch idea, and all that. So I suggest that you take advantage of those first, and you might be able to get some idea what you can do next. Okay, student visa. So for those of you asked about student visa, first we will assist whoever accept the offer. We will assist you with the process. We will actually act as your sponsor in Hong Kong. If you have a dependent visa that you are under 18, then you will be considered an international student. But I suggest that you write to us, because you probably have received our emails. And if you still have doubt, you should write to us, because I don't want to discuss about your personal particulars in this open webinar. Okay. Now, I think this is it for the transition part. Just very one last question before I let you both go, and then I will go and start the admission talk, the very short one. Did you change? If you have changed, what was it? How did you change? Did you like those changes?
So me personally, I'm from Myanmar, right? So basically I'm from the third world country. So I always feel like I'm a disadvantage compared to the other people around my age before I get to university. But after studying here for like a year, I meet a lot of friends and I made a lot of good friends. I got a lot of connections, and like I kind of feel like I'm not like that disadvantaged anymore, because like I have transformed into a, you know, Hong Kong is a very globalized place. I feel like we're all the same now. So that's the thing. That's a change for me. I think I always feel like I am not as fortunate as other people from other country, but now I feel like, oh, we're the same. We're university students who know each other. That's it.
Beautiful. Sharon?
For me, I guess the biggest change for me is I think back in freshman year, I barely wanted to speak to people. But then now I think I'm much more open and I really enjoy like meeting people and like talking to them and hearing their stories. And I think like the different experiences in university has also helped me like develop like a more like of like a sense of empathy towards people and more considerate and not just thinking about myself and my needs only, but also trying to think about what my friends need or like what my juniors future juniors, if you guys end up coming to university, like how can I help, things like that. Because like in the end, I mean, me and Leo, we both know like how it felt like to enter university and moving to a different country. So I think in that sense, I changed to become a very like open person, I guess, a more open one, and I'm glad about that. Yeah.
It's a real privilege to play a role on your journey. I love watching how you grow, and I hope everyone in the audience will learn something from the sharing. Really love that final answer from both of you. So in the matter of time, I have to let you go because Leo did not sleep last night, and Sharon definitely have to prepare the final assignment. So I'll be around to answer some questions, but thank you, both of you. And I will be around for the audience. I'll be around to do an admission talk and answer all these questions that is an answer in the chat box. Don't worry. But can we say thank you? Can I say thank you very much for sharing? All right. Take care of you both, and I will see you soon. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. All right. So answering questions first. Someone asked if we can share contacts in the chat box. I would not suggest that because it's a public environment. I don't think you should share your contact with anyone in the public. But if you are, eager to, you can send me your email address and say that I'm happy to share this to anyone from my country, and we will do that. So I hope you enjoyed this session. There are a few questions that I want to answer, but before that, I want to go into the very quick admission talk, and then I will answer the questions in the chat box that have been left unanswered. So these are my students. They are not models. They look amazing. And this is a typical scene that you will see on campus, students from different background hanging out, and just like what they said. So Hong Kong Baptist, we are a public university, and we were founded by the Baptist Convention in 1956. That's why the name. But we open our door to everybody, and you don't have to be a Christian to join. English is the medium of instruction. In fact, we have 48 majors, 44 of them use English as the teaching languages. So don't worry about languages. We are situated in the city center, and it's very convenient. We do have our dormitory. Someone asked if it's free to stay in the dormitory in the first year. No, nothing is free. But if you are a scholarship student, for example, if you're a full scholarship student, then you can use your scholarship to pay for the dormitory. But for international students, in your first year, there will be a spot reserved for you. That's for sure, if you apply timely. So we are a smaller university. We have only around 7,300 students, but we have 730 teaching staff and faculty. So it's a very close community. That's why they said you can ask your teacher about anything, and then they feel comfortable to do that because it's a very much like a family here. So you also will have very strong bonding with your teachers. Now we talk about a lot of different resources. We talk about research opportunity. Did we? Well, we have research opportunities for science students, internship opportunity, and student exchange. So someone asked about student exchange. Is it easy? So we have over 350 exchange partners, over 40 different destinations. We do have an extensive student exchange programs, and I would say it's still quite competitive because there are certain countries, certain schools, certain universities that are more popular among students, and that might cause more competition. And in that case, they will look at your GPA, they will also look at your interview and sometimes your statement. So there will be a selection process within the university before you go on. And for internship, I answered that question. That's all right. Now, we want you to be true to yourself. And actually, one of our tagline is be you, be unique. That's why we have all these different programs. well, 44 is a lot. So we have 7 faculties and schools, and all these schools and faculties underlined in yellow, they do broad-based admission, meaning you don't have to choose a major or concentration when you apply. So for example, for business, you can apply to School of Business first, and then in your first year, you can take subjects from different concentrations before choosing 1 or 2 at the end of your first year. We also have some cross-disciplinary program, which are listed here, and you can also have a look on our website. So we talk about different opportunities, experiential learning, entrepreneurship initiatives. We also encourage students to open themselves to new experience. So that's why we have the student dormitory, because that's where you will be engaging with a lot of different students and enjoying lot of different activities, not only, academic one, but also maybe sports like Thai boxing, go to the gym together, hike together, dancing class, yoga class, Pilates, and so on. We also have a great service learning program, which is integrated in our curriculum. We have a lot of student clubs and sports team for you to join. So basically, we hope that our students could be open up to new experience, step out of their comfort zone, and live up to their potential. So in terms of requirements, we actually accept a very wide range of requirements. We are only listing a few here. So we accept a lot of local curriculum, local qualifications. If you are interested, please do check on our website to see if we accept your local qualifications. For English, because we teach in English, so you have to meet the English requirements. And again, we accept a wide range of tests, including IELTS, TOEFL, IB, IGCSE, Cambridge English. So if you don't see anything on here on this slide, don't worry, just go to our website to find out. And in terms of timeline, we accept application starting from October for the next September. So if you are, and we also accept application all the way until the end of May. So if you are graduating this year, or if you have just graduated from a high school, then please do apply. You are still welcome to apply. And for the students who are going to graduate next year, you are able to apply in this October onwards. So when you apply, you probably do not have your final exam result. Don't worry, just apply with your predicted grade and your latest transcript, and you'll be evaluated based on that. And that could be, when you get the result, it could be a conditional offer, and it could be a conditional offer with scholarship. So for scholarship, no application is required. Everybody is being considered automatically if they are competitive. So these are the estimation of fees and expenses on the left-hand side for 23, 24. And on the right-hand side, you see the different amount of scholarships. So we have different amounts of scholarship, different types of scholarship, and basically they are all merit-based scholarships. So primarily we will look at your academic performance, but we will also look at your non-academic performance and your personal attributes and your interview performance. So that will count as well. And that's the end of my very quick introduction of our admissions. I want to go back and answer some questions, and feel free to continue to type questions. It will help if you type in the Q&A so I know which one has been answered. So there was a question about whether you wear masks on campus. So mask is not mandatory anymore, but students can wear them as they wish, and usually students will wear, or anyone in Hong Kong will wear them if they don't feel well, so they don't want to spread the germs. So that's something like a responsible citizen would do, but it's really up to individual choice. So there are questions about getting a Hong Kong ID. Wait. Do I have to go to Hong Kong to apply for the visa? No. You will do it online, and we will give instruction to those who accept our offer and we will give them detailed instruction on how to apply for the visa, and the whole thing is to be done online or by sending documents directly to Hong Kong by courier or by post. So can I apply for visa when I stay in Hong Kong for the 6 months? I'm not sure what that question means, so you can elaborate. And also for those of you who are in the audience, the information I shared just now are for international students mainly. If you are a Hong Kong passport holder or Chinese passport holder, you'll be applying via the non-JUPAS scheme, and there might be different handling in your visa and the whole scholarship application process. So please do contact our non-JUPAS team if you are a Hong Kong or Chinese passport holder, and I will type the email address here for our non-JUPAS team, just so you know. Okay, the next question, let me see if I have missed anything at the beginning. Oh, actually, they did not talk about the language problem, but I guess you already reckon that they don't speak Chinese and they can get by, so don't worry about it. And there are just a lot of international students around you, so you don't have to worry about it. Let's see if we have any other question until the last one. Okay, I see someone asking about getting a result. So first, usually after the interview, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get a result. And also we are looking at like working days, not calendar days, because the university is not open during the weekend. And we also had just one of the longest weekend for Easter at the beginning of April. So that might cause a little delay as well. So just so you know, usually it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get a result. And I think that's it. I think I answered all the questions. Okay, a new one, how students will be distributed in room at the dormitory. Good question. So basically you will be invited to apply for student dormitory. If you are year 1 students, you accept the offer and all that. It usually takes place in July. And in fact, we will hold a session to be done by other current students. And I will ask them to explain to you the different style of the different halls so that you can make a well-informed decision. And also you can when you fill in the form, you can indicate your preference. For example, you're a light sleeper, or you want to stay with people from your own country, or you want to stay with someone say from France because you are learning French. So you can indicate that. And then of course, at the end of the day, it will be the decision of the student affairs office, the hall office, but usually they will try to accommodate. And sometimes they wanted, still want to be room with their friends. That could be arranged as well. So other question, do I need to pay any fees while admission? If yes, how much I need to pay? I think you might be asking about application, right? So we have an application fee, and that will be 450 Hong Kong. So that is around $58 US. And if you are given an offer, then you'll be asked to confirm the offer, accept the offer by settling the payment of the admission confirmation fee. And that will be around 1,028. Let me just do a calculation very quickly. So it will be a 10,000 Hong Kong dollar. That is around 1,300 US. And that will have to be settled within by the deadline. It will be usually 2 weeks, 3 weeks deadline. And after you settle the payment, then you will secure the space. Okay, can you choose roommate on the form? Yes, that's what I have explained. But then at the end of you can choose certain person to be your roommate, and obviously that person has to agree as well. And then I think the hall office will try to accommodate you in most cases, but no guarantee. It's up to them. Okay. Actually, Yuki, I think you might have a very specific situation, and I'm not sure if it's correct that we discuss about your case in this webinar. So I would strongly recommend you that if you are already an applicant, then write to us. If not, do write to us as well. But just to answer the question, right now, Hong Kong immigration has migrated to the online system. I think they might take paper form as well in the first 2 months, but they would definitely move on. And as a student visa applicant, if you're applying for student visa, for instance, it should be supported by a sponsor in Hong Kong, and that would be the university that admits you. And that would be us. So I don't think you can just submit an application. And even if you can, they will not handle it until they get our confirmation or confirmation from any of the university that you are enrolled in. Okay, so I think this is it. And looking at the watch, we are running out of time. So thank you once again, everybody, for joining me today.